We got some good news for the Houston Astros. They acquired another starting pitcher, and his name is Jake Odorizzi. They agreed to a 2-year deal with a player option. It doesn't say how much the deal is worth. It just says as a 2-year deal, which was reported by Jeff Passan, just to let you guys know. He had a very short in 2020 season due to injury. He had bruised ribs in a blister, and he went 0 for 1 with a 6.59 ERA in 13 and two-third innings. I think he only had like 4 starts last year. Yeah, he only had 4 starts. So as for his 2019 campaign, it was actually really good. It was 15-7. He had a win-loss record of 15-7 with a 3.51 ERA and 30 starts, which earned him his first All-Star selection. And he had 178 strikeouts that season. Um, so Amari, you go first. What do you think of the Houston Astros acquiring Jake Odorizzi?
First of all, congratulations to Jake Odorizzi on signing with the Houston Astros. Yeah, I mean, I think he joins a pretty decent pitching staff. Nate, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, he joins Zach Greinke, he joins Lance McCullers. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Obviously, Justin Verlander is hurt. He's getting Tommy John surgery. Already had Tommy John surgery. Um, and obviously that's definitely a loss to them. But they do have a very good pitching staff. Nate, I looked up Christian Javier, and Christian Javier went 5-2. He had a 3.48 ERA and he had 54 strikeouts in 2019. And I'm going by 2019 because 2020 I'm giving a lot of players a break because of the shortened season and everything. So he had a very, very good 2019 season. As for Jose Urquidy, he had a 1-1 record with 2.73 ERA in 2020, which I thought was pretty good considering the fact for a short season. And in 2019, he had a 3.95 ERA with a two wins and one loss record. So when you really think about it, Nate, he's joining a pretty decent pitching staff. You know what I'm saying? I think Jake Odorizzi with Justin Verlander being out, I think he's going to be the third pitcher in that lineup, in that rotation. Obviously, I think Greinke will be the first. I think McCullers will be the second, and I think Odorizzi will be the third. And then obviously between Christian Javier and Jose Urquidy, it's going to all depend. But I think he's joining a very good pitching rotation at that. Obviously, the Houston Astros are not that championship team no more. Obviously, when you lose George Springer, that's a big loss. When you lose Marwin Gonzalez, obviously he lost him. They lost him a couple years ago, but that was still a pretty decent loss. Um, Obviously, your star pitcher, your ace, Justin Verlander not playing. Obviously, that's going to be a big loss as well. And all you really got left is
Garrett Cole
Alex
being shipped off to
Bregman,
the
Carlos
Yankees.
Correa, and Jose Altuve. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Garrett Cole being shipped off to the Yankees.
Right, that's the other one. That's the other one I forgot to mention too. So it's obviously not the same Houston Astros team, and obviously they got caught with the cheating scandal and banging their trash cans. But hey, look, do I believe they're at full rebuild mode yet? No. Do I believe they can still become a playoff team? I do, to be honest with you. If this pitching staff can hold their own and all it takes, think about it, all it really takes is Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa. And you also got to remember they have help me out here, or Jordan Alvarez, is that his name?
Something like that. Oh yeah, Jordan
The rookie
Alvarez. Yeah, I know what you're
Jordan
talking about.
Alvarez. That's a very, very good player too. Say what you want about the Astros, but Jordan Alvarez is a very, very good player. So they still got some pieces there, Nate. Obviously it's not the same team, but they still got some pieces. I don't think they're at full rebuild mode yet. Okay, I still think they have pieces to contend in being a playoff team. Championship team? No, I think that's all over. I think them contending for a championship is all over. Considering the fact that like the Oakland A's are on the rise, considering the fact that like the Twins are making a little bit of moves, I think the Astros are not going to be in the World Series again. I really don't. But obviously, like I mean, you can still count the Rays, kinda, but Blake Snell leaving, what does that really leave you at? Um, but I
That
mean, to
just
be
leaves the
honest
White
with you,
Sox and the Yankees.
right? What? Thank you, the White Sox. I keep forgetting about them. The White Sox had a decent offseason too, and the Yankees, obviously, the Yankees do a lot of Yankee things in the offseason. But with that being said, I still think the Astros can make the playoffs, Nate. I still think they can make the playoffs until I say this, Nate. Until they get rid of one more star, uh, I'm waiting for the time they get rid of Jose Altuve, if that ever happens. Until they get rid of one more star, I still think they can make the playoffs. And if this pitching staff really holds their own and does a decent job, I think they can definitely make the playoffs in a wild card seat. I really do. But I mean, let me tell you something, Nate. It's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for the Astros. Obviously, you're not used to that championship team no more. It's going to be very tough for them, but I do think they can do it. So, I mean, with that being said, going back to the actual topic, Jake Odorizzi, I think it's a very good signing by the Houston Astros. He had a very good 2019 season. Obviously, he was an All-Star selection, and he could definitely go back to that. Obviously, he had a very short season. The injuries is a big concern too. Wishing him the best of luck. Hopefully, those injuries didn't take a toll on him. But I mean, I mean, that's basically all I really got to say about it. With that being said, I wish Jake Odorizzi the best of luck. I wish the Houston Astros the best of luck, and we'll see how they do.
Yeah, I'll take over from there. Congratulations to Jake Odorizzi and the Houston Astros. Um, I don't know. The Astros are a confusing case, man. I mean, obviously last year was a shortened season, so it it's really gonna depend, dude. It really is. Because this year, obviously, like we mentioned before, the MLB doesn't plan on having extended playoffs like they did last year. Which, to be honest, I think they should, but that's not my decision to make. But they made it to the playoffs last year with a sub 500 record. Obviously, last year was a little bit of a different story because it was a 60-game season. But that's the problem. Now you're transitioning from 60 games a year to 162. And they hold out is the question. And I gotta be honest with you, Mario, they're a confusing case. Like you look at them and you think and you say they can, right? I mean obviously they got Alex Bregman, they got Jordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa, Yoli Gurriel, Jose Altuve, and Michael Brantley. Then obviously you got the pitching staff: Lance McCullers, Zach Greinke, Jake Odorizzi now adding up. Justin Verlander is not going to be playing this year, most likely because he's still recovering from Tommy John surgery. Um, and then you got Christian Javier and Jose Urquidy. So it's a confusing bunch. They can make the playoffs. I can see it, but unlike other teams, like we say, the Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. Obviously, they're the Dodgers. The Yankees, obviously, we say that because we know. The problem with the Astros is that we don't. Like you look at the team, like they're like they almost remind me of what I saw with the Red Sox back in 2019. Like me and you said they could repeat as champions, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen, and as a result, the Red Sox just went on a steep downhill from there. But hey, I could just be saying that because I'm still a little bit really on the Astros, but I'm gonna say yes. I think they can still make the playoffs. It's gonna be an early playoff exit. I'm just saying that right now, unless if they pull more magic out of their asses like they did against the Twins last year. I just can't see it happen. But it's something that I'm gonna have to see in order to kind of give a like give a clear answers. Like, is this team gonna make the playoffs? Yes, because like we look at the other teams like the Twins, the Athletics, the White Sox, the Yankees. Like we all know those teams are gonna make the playoffs. We know that. But the Astros is like they have the pieces, yeah. Well, can they? I mean, it's confusing. It really is. But um, I'm personally gonna go on the side of yes, they can still make the playoffs. But the true testament's gonna come with this full season. That's what's really going to be going against them. Because I mean, like you said, like I said, excuse me, they made it with a sub 500 record last season, but that's because it was a shortened season with extended playoffs. That's no longer the case. You got a full season, and we don't know if the MLB is going to be doing an extended playoffs this year. So now you really have to work hard to keep up with the rest of the American League. So obviously, with that being said, I wish Jake Odorizzi the best of luck, and same thing with the Houston Astros. And I'm excited to see how this goes. Kind of.